Hi. Man, getting over the last little bit of that nagging cough. Um, just going to kind of sit still for a minute and see where we're going to go tonight. Let's see. So, I'm experiencing a lot of divine grace coming in right now. So, we'll bring that into the thread. What does divine grace feel like to you? What could it feel like to you? Could you open yourself to interpret that from the energy that you're experiencing? Could you look for that field for yourself and change your vibration purposely? These are things that I talk about often, but they are meaningful to me. Recently, I've been in very deep conversation with the universe about a lot of different things. And I thought no better place than here for us to talk about some of those things. So let's talk about some principles. All right. So entrainment is when there is a strong pattern and the pattern is present and there are other objects that are of similar value and strength, yet this particular pattern, okay, it pulls better and has more magnetism to it. All right. And so eventually all of the energy is shifted, and that one object, person, place, doesn't matter, pulls the energy into its vibration, what it has to offer. You go to a concert hall, there's a lot of excitement. There's like, ooh, this feels really good. We're all happy. And a lot of it is you bringing that to the experience, but it's also already there because it's been brought before. So part of it is choosing to tap into the joy of the experience that you're about to have. Okay. And when you think of life in terms of being able to choose how you wish to experience it vibrationally, all right, it allows you to begin to process at a deeper, more understanding. You can introduce more understanding into your experience. When you do that, okay, you're not giving reasons for something. Understanding means that you're really taking in that there was this experience and you're looking at it from it being part of your experience, okay, and not negating it, not making reasons for maybe the other individual to behave a certain way or anything like that. You're interpreting it so that way you can feel better about how you feel, about how you showed up, not about everything else. And that's what our internal processing is. When we stay in our lane, so to speak, right? And we investigate our internal world and we don't invite other people in to be the reason for our definition, then we have a freedom to become more authentic in our vibration and we have more choice. We're not attached to the charge that's there left from any trauma that might have occurred. You'll interpret trauma in many different ways, and I'm not a therapist, so trauma can be all kinds of things. And when you look at it, you'll determine whether you're pulling the energy toward you of it, or you are resisting the energy of it from you, or being it. Okay? And being it is usually a place of acceptance where you can allow the circumstances that have been, know your part, bless the situation, and then sit quietly and pull back your energy from it. You are still that person. You are still that person. So loving you in that moment and holding you close, right? Bringing your energy back of awareness, of decisions, of experience, just bringing it back to you and really holding it sacred, right? And sitting with it is a good way to do it. And do it small doses, not like everything all at once, just, whatever you can handle, and not all the time. Life isn't meant to be that. All you're doing is you're unlocking reasons when they pop up that maybe you're wanting to change the way the behavior is. And that's it. Maybe something's come up and you're like, oh man, I'm so much like my mom, or I'm so much like my dad, and I don't want that. And then you'll start investigating behaviors. And that's what triggers us, is that we don't want to repeat behavior that we think is unbeneficial. We want to be beneficial. So we'll create a new pattern, we think, and it's the same pattern that we had, only we're dressing it up a little bit differently. Then when we finally break out of that particular pattern, that pattern has to be, it's like contrary. So you have to do almost a 180 in order to break a pattern that's like from family or from habit. And allowing yourself to give yourself the grace that it's okay to make those choices. It's okay to have made the choices that got you to wherever it was you didn't want to be anymore. It's okay. It was part of your experience. All right? And there isn't a greater source that is punishing you. It isn't being done to you, except, in your interpretation. Slow. See? It's how we tell a story to ourselves of the experience that we're in. And whether it is detrimental to us in the retelling, all right, or beneficial, or it could even be neutral, to where it holds no charge to it. And as that occurs, you're releasing the light, okay, because you've emoted, all right, and the cell dies and the memory, changes. It shifts to the new story in where you storage your, cellular memory. That allows you, pardon me, that allows you time to shift how you feel about who you are and how you want to have or show up in the next experience. Not the same sort of experience, but how you want to show up. What that does is it changes your vibrational offering. Does that mean that when adversity hits somebody, that they were adverse, they were in adversity, so they had to have more adversity? It's whatever word you want to use for it. If you are in a negative focus and you're calling it detrimental and you stay there, then that is what you're going to keep getting. If you're in a positive focus and you call it beneficial and you're in that focus, and you stay there, that's what you're going to keep getting. All right? Because you're focused that way. It's your focus. If you think that having no money is negative, then you're going to focus as it's negative. If you perceive something, if you perceive it, because you're running this charge of an energy, a currency, because that's what money is. You're running currency through your body, and you're telling your body everything that this money can do. All right? And you're telling your body All right. You're saying, remember this. Remember that money holds power. Money has movement. Money has. All right. And money doesn't have shit. Money is currency. Money's just currency. It doesn't have any of that. People give it that weight. All right. They give it that weight. No, it's no fun to not have money when you want to buy something. I understand that. If you want to vibe in that, if you want to vibe and continue to tell yourself that it's no fun to have money or not have money, then that's your focus. Having no money. That's what I'm talking about. It's easier. That's why Abraham Hicks is channeling Abraham. Abraham is like infinite intelligence. Seth, they're very similar, all the similar energies, all right? And so mostly what it is that your focus, whatever your focus is, becomes the story because you notice it, all right? That becomes your focus. So you start telling a story about it, or a trigger, something will happen, you'll tell a story about it. And the story holds weight because you give it space inside of your experience. It'll take up space inside of your body. It takes up cell space. So the cells will come and they'll remind you, oh, hey, we're scared when we're in this situation. You'll be like, oh, I don't like how this feels here. And it's a reminder from an energy pattern. So there's an energy pattern present that maybe you don't vibe with in that moment. Maybe your vibe is different than that. What you do is you sit still. You always sit still because you're always offered two opportunities in each circumstance. Two, a negative or a contrastual, okay, offering, or a positive, this is all going to be rainbows, okay? And a lot of times we're in a space inside of ourselves where we don't believe that this can happen, or that we are deserving of this happening, or we have a story that we're so horribly bad in this partnership, or so horribly bad in this experience, all right? And it limits us in giving ourselves the ability and flexibility of understanding that we're enough, we're perfect, we're absolutely perfect. The only reason we're diminished in the way that we think is because of our conditioning through being sold product, becoming consumers, being made consumers. We're sold that we're not good enough, and in order to be good enough, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. And because how we live as humans is through absorption, we absorb the world around us, and then we create through introspection, pulling in more thought, having more feeling, and then giving our opinion out, our thoughts, our teachings, and that's how the world operates, okay? So we're in this all together in a consciousness, right? So if we're in this and we feel unworthy, we're not going to land here in that circumstance. We're going to notice our eye is going to be focused in the contrastual space because that's what we think should happen, because that's how deserving we feel of the experience. If it's a good experience that we're pulling in and we haven't done internal processing to allow ourselves to vibe closer to the more positive outcome of what we're calling in. A lot of times we'll do rituals. Rituals are great. What they do is they allow you to bring yourself, into that quiet stillness of mind, body, and spirit. And then you get to really center yourself in an emotion. You get to write from that emotion. And this is the emotion you would like for your experience to match. And all that is great, but it all happens in a moment. So sustaining that emotion, right? You have to make it a practice. You have to set aside time, 3 minutes here, 4 minutes there, and it will shift how you experience life, would put you into the vibration that you asked for from the ask. All right. The rituals and everything are very good. They're not the be-all, end-all of life. We're in ritual every day. What you're doing is you're bringing recognition to your belief system, and you're giving yourself permission and accepting yourself for who you are and your beliefs. So I would encourage you maybe to open it up further and ask how best you could bless yourself. What is the best ask that would be the most helpful for me from the universe, right? Ask that question. Ask that, okay? Because you never know. You never know what is best, all right? There could be even a bester or a bestest situation, right? Or something even better. So, when you have an ask, maybe we're coming from a desperate place. We're usually coming from a place of lack. We're not coming from a place of, I already have that, but I want more. Okay, we're coming from a place of noticing that we're not having that experience. It could be just an experience or a person or anything or a relationship, but we're noticing that we're not experiencing that particular subject, all right, in the way that we would like to. So we're coming from a place that doesn't have it, okay? And if you ever remember, like the Toys R Us stores, right? Or any toy store that you can take a child in, okay? And they would get excited, and let's say the child's never been told no, and they're like under 5 years old, okay? So they're super excited, and you know how colorful those places are, and they're all, right? And they walk in, and they go like this, they go, I want that. And mom and dad just go, yeah, here you go, all right? And that's how the universe wants to serve us. That is how our patterns of opportunity actually want to exist in our life. We're the ones who create resistance to that. We're like, no, it can't happen that easy. All of you guys did it. So the idea is to make yourself be that 5-year-old, that child that understands that you can have anything that you would like. Anything that you tell yourself that I don't know if I can afford that right now. I don't think that would be a good choice for me right now because I have to do like so much. Or I really want him back or her back or them back, right? And then everything in order for those asks to take place, no matter what those asks are, they all hold a weight for you. You're attached to them emotionally. So that's going to require you to recognize what you are resistant now to experience with those individuals in order to come close in a rendezvous point to have that circle closure, if that's what you're looking for, or experience. All right. Anything that tells you inside that you shouldn't go for that. You don't know how that person is. No, you shouldn't. No. That is a child of you. That's you at one of your ages, holding you in a space that they believe is safe, wanting you to understand that you need to go slow. Trust is like built. It's not something you get overnight. All right. And honoring who you are. All right. Honoring who you are in that moment, knowing that like you're every age to your date, right? That you show up and just saying, yeah, wow, good job, 16-year-old. We're not getting pregnant today. Okay. Just things like that for yourself. It is you honoring you that opens up your ability to tell the difference between you and the situation. And when you can tell the difference between you and the situation, that allows you not to attach further transfer of energy to others, right? Because that's why everybody walks around with so much, a lot of times people will refer to it as like stress or tension. Stress and tension, like tightness in the body. And mostly what that is that somebody has said something or something has happened to trigger the individual into something internal, and they pull their auric field toward themselves, which feels tighter, okay? And that makes you feel like you're under attack, all right? Because now all the information that you're holding out here is here, okay? It doesn't change. None of the information changed. You didn't change. Everything that you are didn't change, but you're not giving yourself as much space, as much spaciousness would be a better word, okay? As connectedness is what the word would be, as connectedness to like all that is, right? And pushing your auric field and connecting it to all that is, all right, gives you a greater understanding of who you are. So you're merely having an experience. You're energetic. You translate through your physical self. You are divine in nature. You're a sentient being. You have feelings and thoughts. You process physically and energetically. All right, so now we're starting to feel a little ease because we opened up our field, okay? We started to breathe, okay? And when I say breathe, usually what I'm talking about is open up your heart space so that way it gets easier for you. All right? Okay. Oh, goodness. All right. And I think the last thing that I would like to share today is, let me see. Love is a vibe, okay? Love is a vibe. And the easiest way to find that vibe is inside, because you can let it resonate in a visceral, physical culmination, all right, for your nervous system. And that's your sensory awareness. That's your feelings. That's feeling your emotions, right? When you feel your emotions, most of your body is showing up. If you feel your emotions, everything's showing up. You become very connected to who you are. And then you can open your space up even further. You can think that, oh, yeah, I am connected to all that is. I can be a part of all that is. It's easy for me. All right. I wish you guys many blessings. Thanks for tuning in. And I will be here next Sunday night, but maybe not Sunday morning. Okay. We'll have to see. I can't remember the schedule. But thank you guys. I appreciate you for following and liking and sharing and holding us sacred. And I just love spending time with you. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much.